Hi guys, Richard Blaine here. Thanks for stopping by my Easy Cooking channel tonight. Tonight I'm going to make something relatively simple. No, I'm not going to make a pasta dish. Tonight I'm going to make some beef jerky. And the reason I'm going to make beef jerky is because earlier this week I was contacted by one of my subs in the United Kingdom, a nice guy named Paul. And he said on the east coast of England where he lives, he's paying $4 for about 25 grams of beef jerky. And I was like, are you out of your mind? He's not, no, $4 for 25 grams of beef jerky. Let me make something unerringly clear for you guys out there. 25 grams is not even a standard United States ounce, okay? A standard ounce in the United States of America, and in England as well, is 28 grams. And a standard troy ounce for measuring metals, gold and silver, is 31.1. So Paulie is paying $4 for 25 grams of beef jerky. Times 16 is roughly $64 for a pound of beef jerky. So he said, could you show us how to cook beef jerky? And I told him, well, we don't cook beef jerky. Okay, the best ways to do beef jerky is to smoke it or dehydrate it. Although some people do cook beef jerky dry in their ovens, that ain't the way you do it, okay? Dehydrator or smoke cure it, or like I do here in the Las Vegas desert, I'll air cure it for a couple of days. So tonight I'm going to make some beef jerky. And I'm not going to make the typical beef jerky that you guys see all over the net where people do a wet cure of like soy sauce, sugar, Worcestershire sauce, liquid smoke. No, I'm not going to do that. No. Tonight, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Tonight, I'm going to make beef jerky for you guys, and it's going to be a flavor you might not have seen in beef jerky. Tonight, I'm going to make Thai chili lime beef jerky. And as usual with YouTube, 15 minutes. Let's get going. I'll see you on the other side. And yo, Paulie, you better be watching, Pally. Okay, guys. One of the great debates in making beef jerky is whether one should wet cure or dry cure. Most people I know prefer the wet cure, but what I like to do is I like to do a wet cure and then a dry cure. So I'm going to set up my wet cure right now. All right, here it is, some white vinegar, okay? And to that white vinegar, I'm going to add some brown sugar. The exact measurements will be on my blog at richardblaineseasycooking.com. And to that, I'm going to add some salt. And don't be afraid to use salt in the wet cure because that salt is going to help the beef dry out once it's in the smoker or the dehydrator. And to these ingredients, the vinegar, the salt, and the sugar, I'm going to add about 3 shots of my favorite drink, bourbon. Okay? And I'm going to whisk that around. I want the sugar and I want the salt to completely dissolve. And while that's sitting in there, I'm just going to add a couple of twists of black pepper. Get that in there. Oh, yeah. Okay. And I'm going to whisk this until the salt and the sugar completely dissolve. And this is going to be my brine. And then we'll move on to the next step of slicing the meat and settling it in this brine. Okay, guys, here we go. This here is a 4-pound slice of London broil, okay? It's been in the freezer for about 45 minutes to make it easier to cut. Prior to putting it in the freezer, I trimmed away all the excess fat. I like to use London broil to make beef jerky. This London broil cost $5 a pound, so there's $20 of meat sitting here, okay? 4 pounds for 20 bucks versus 64 in England for Paul. And I'm going to start to cut. And I'm going to cut it as thin or as thick as I want. You can either cut with the grain or against the grain. Now I'm cutting about 1/4 inch thick, okay, for some of the jerky. And I can cut thinner, about 1/8 of an inch with these Japanese knives. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, get that to spin. See, nice and thin. And so I'm going to cut this London broil into nice thin slices. because then I've got to set it in the Pyrex or some other container to use the brine. So I'm going to continue cutting, and when I'm all done, I'll show you how I'm going to set this meat in the brine for 24 hours, and then we'll continue this recipe tomorrow. Okay guys, here's my beef, all sliced up. All in total, I've got about 6 pounds. I had more than I thought. And I've done a variety of different slices. Small, 1/8 inch. Long, 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch. And then I have some wide cuts at 1/4 of an inch. Okay, each of which will have different drying times, but all in all, should do quite well. Now, I'm going to take my brine and just pour it into the dish. That's it. Okay? All the sugar, all the salt, completely dissipated. Okay? Push the meat down a little bit. Okay? And I'm going to let this beef settle in this brine for 24 hours. You could do it for as little as 4 hours, but I like long term because vinegar has a really nice tenderizing effect on beef. So I'm going to let this beef settle in 24 hours in this brine, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay guys, the beef has been marinating in my refrigerator for 24 hours. And as you saw in the previous video, I make different size cuts of beef jerky. These are my larger size cuts, and then I make smaller size strip cuts of this nature. I call these my elephant ear cuts. Now, I've had them draining for about an hour, and I'm going to pad off the excess moisture from these larger slices. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to pad off the excess moisture. Okay, there's not much there because I allow these to gravity hang in a colander and drain a lot of the excess moisture. See, really not a whole lot. And now I'm going to go move on to spicing these bad boys up. So hang on tight. Okay guys, here's some of my Thai chili lime dry cure. And I just take the jerky and I press it in. Okay, that's all I do. One at a time, each ear. And then I lay each ear on my sheet. Okay, that's all there is to it. Okay, very simple, very basic. Both sides get covered. And I'm going to do all of these elephant ear cuts, and I'm going to show you what they look like on the rack in a minute or two. So hang on tight. Okay guys, these are my elephant ear slices, all nicely coated with my Thai chili lime. Okay, I'm going to put this in the dehydrator and go to work on the next smaller batch. Okay guys, here it goes. I'm going to start loading up my machine. This is some of my medium cut, and it's going to go on the bottom of my dehydrator. Okay. Alright. Here's some of my large cuts, the elephant ears. Okay, that's going to go on the next slot. Here's some more of my small cut stuff, okay, all coated in this nice Thai chili lime. It's going to be good. That's going in next. And here's the last of my elephant ears and medium cut. Going to go into the dehydrator on the top. Okay. Each dehydrator is a little bit different. This is going in at 155 degrees, anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, depending on your dehydrator. I'll say with the different combination of meat cuts that this is going to take at least 3 hours minimum. So I'm going to let this cook. I'll see you guys in 3 hours. Take care. All right, guys. It's actually been about 4 hours in my little dehydrator, and that's because I had different sizes of meat and different thicknesses of meat. But here it is, my Thai chili lime beef jerky. And yes, it is hot. Obviously, you can tell with all the chili. But it's also very sweet because there's lots of brown sugar. And it's salty because there's salt to help it dry. And then there's the flavor of that kaffir lime. Okay? Here I have a regular piece. Okay? Regular piece of beef jerky for chewing on. Here we go. Regular cut. Okay? All shapes and sizes, depends on whether you cut with the grain or against the grain. Okay? And then I have my elephant ears. The large slices, 1/4 of an inch. This is what took so long to dry, but this is it. Okay? This is about 3 pounds. I've got the other half ready to go into the dehydrator, and it should be ready to go by the time I go to bed. So here it is, Thai chili lime beef jerky. Paulie, I hope you're watching, and I hope you can see the value in making your own. Okay? Altogether, I think I bought 6 pounds of London broil. It's about $30. Okay? The ingredients cost me about another $5. $35. Get roughly 5 pounds of output compared to you paying $4 for 25 grams. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you on the next video.